Hi Gemini, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Gemini and Sagittarius on Wednesdays. Also, for those of you guys who are interested, the deck that I'm using today is called the Crystal Visions Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in a personal reading, the information is in the description below. Now, just as a heads up, I only take cards that jump out of the deck. Sometimes they like to flip over, and I do see them. However, I usually won't take them unless they jump. And if they come out in groups that are too big, I'll just put them back and keep shuffling until we have roughly 8 or 9 cards for you guys, and then we can get started on your reading. So I'm just going to keep shuffling until you guys have about 8 or 9 cards, and then we can get started. Alright, Gemini, I do want to start off by letting you guys know that if you enjoy the reading, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. But your overall energy here is the 5 of Swords. Now, the 5 of Swords isn't always the best card to have, just because whenever I see it, I know that there's petty arguments that are taking place. And it's a card all about sort of that argumentative space, that feeling of I know more than you do, and I feel like somebody's being particularly condescending towards you. It's very interesting because in other depictions of this card, it almost looks like it's a situation where people were getting into sort of a practice round of some kind of sword play, and then one person just takes it too seriously and the other 2 people are just upset about it. But this person, as you can see, took those swords, but also stabbed this woman with 2 swords. So I think that this goes beyond taking like friendly competition a little bit too seriously. I think that this person had some genuine intent to hurt you. And, you know, I'm looking at your reading and there's a lot of positive energy here. So I think that if somebody had the intention to hurt you, it certainly didn't work out. And it certainly didn't work in the way that they were expecting. Like, you are too strong for them to even come close to bringing you down in the way that they were planning to. You know, and I know that because we have the 6 of Wands with the 9 of Swords, right? We have the 6 of Wands, the Emperor, the Magician, the 9 of Wands. Like, these are all really powerful cards. But sort of taking a step back and looking at this 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands is the card of victory. Right, so now I know that you guys are thriving. I know that you guys are being very successful right now. I know that you guys are really reaping the rewards of your effort. And I feel like it's one of those situations where whatever you touch turns into gold. And I think that in particular really makes this person jealous. But I think that in particular, your communication skills are off the chart right now. Because the Knight of Swords talks about everything that's sort of communication. It's a message coming in, but it's the mental realm. So the swords are the mental space. So anything that has to do with communication, thoughts, expression, even like business, I feel like you guys are going to excel at that right now. Like I said earlier, everything you touch is going to turn into gold with the 6 of Wands here. And we have the Magician card with the 4 of Swords. That's a very powerful combination. So the Magician card lets us know that now is a time to manifest, because the Magician is a master manifester. And I think that right now you guys you guys have the tools to succeed. Just put them to work. And it's actually very interesting because one of the, less glamorous parts of manifestation that sometimes people have a difficult time doing is this Four of Swords bit, right? So what you do is you plant your seed of intentions, and then once you've sort of planted the seed, water it, you have to let it go. So let's say you want a promotion. You have to manifest that in the way that you say, I want this promotion, or you say like, I have this promotion, I am financially stable, I am, happy with my position, and you do that manifestation work, and then you forget about it, you let it go. Because if you're trying to manifest that you have something, usually we don't manifest things that we already have. So you just let it go and you wait for it to come in. Because if you keep sort of like desiring it, you kind of bring in that same desire. But for sure, look up different ways of manifestation and look up what works best for you. I'm just sharing mostly what my experience has been. But obviously everyone's experience isn't the same. So certainly look into it and use this energy to your advantage. But either way, even if you guys don't do the letting go part, you need to rest and you need to relax, because I feel like you guys, whenever I see this Four of Swords, I feel like you guys have been working yourselves to the bone a little bit, so it cannot help to relax and really recharge your batteries. I think that a lot of you guys have a hard time sleeping at night, so certainly do something to help you guys sleep. Even just something as simple as getting to bed earlier will help you get a more fulfilling night's sleep. But I see all this positivity here, and then I see here the Nine of Wands with the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man is sometimes a very difficult card to deal with, because whenever we see the Hanged Man, we know that we need to change our perspective. We know that we need to change things up, right? And it can be very difficult because we're so used to knowing what we want and sort of like going for it. And when you get this card, you know that you have to change your approach to the situation. And that can feel sometimes like starting back from zero. But what we need to acknowledge is that when we change our approach, it gives us the opportunity to do things differently and to do things far more effectively than perhaps we were in the past. Right? So definitely take some time to really think about where you're going and how you want to get there. Because I feel like those two things right now are going to be the big ball changers, the big game changers. And I feel like in part this has to do a lot with your healing. I think that a lot of you guys have sort of been coasting through life. I don't want to say coasting, but like going through life and working on the things that you need to work on as they come up. So you have all these things that you've perhaps put on the back burner that you need to heal, but you haven't really started to work on yet. And I think that if you really start to work on the things that you haven't perhaps healed entirely, you're going to see a lot of this successful energy. Because I think that you guys have some patterns, perhaps that aren't helping you. Right, it's certainly no tower moment, but I do think that it would be beneficial for you guys to sit down and sort of work on your healing a little bit, and that could mean anything. Like it could be just like sitting down and meditating. That could be like actively going seeking therapy. Like whatever that looks like to you, I feel is like the approach that you should take. But like the potential for success is so overwhelmingly here, like it's fantastic news. And it's very interesting because I see the Page of Pentacles and I see the Emperor. And with the Emperor, I feel like that's talking about you. I feel like that's talking about, right, regardless of your, gender identity or sexual orientation or whatever, like the Emperor is sort of that divine masculine energy. And the divine masculine sort of refers to making things happen in the physical realm. And I don't think it's any coincidence that this is tied to the Page of Pentacles, which happens to be, all about the physical realm, all about stability, all about materialism. Well, I don't want to say materialism because that has that negative connotation, but your material stability, your financial stability. because it's in the reverse, I feel like it's not coming in quite the way that you would like it to. And, you know, the long and the short of it is that once you do this healing, and once you sort of tap into your manifestation power, you're going to be in this Emperor energy, which also, by the way, is the card of Aries. So for some of you guys, you might be dealing with an Aries, or you might have heavy Aries in your chart. But if that doesn't resonate, that's not a big of a deal. But if it does, just take it to be extra confirmation. But like I was saying, once you enter sort of this Emperor energy or Empress energy or whatever you want to call it, you're going to start to see the material realm around you really stabilize and improve. I feel like you guys are going to see a lot of technological upgrades, right? Like, I'm hearing new TV for some of you guys, but you're going to start to sort of furnish your house. Some of you guys might be perhaps even upgrading house, anything like that, or even just like financial capabilities. Like, you might get a promotion at work or a different job or anything that'll help you make more money in the long run. But I think that you guys are going to see a lot of that positivity. And that was your reading first time around, Gemini. I upload my new videos for Geminis on Wednesdays, but in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.